my name is CTFxC here, and today we're going to be talking about Syria.
That's right.
I didn't know it was actually a place before we talked about this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we talked about it a little bit before, at least I know what Syria is now.
Yeah, you know what it is.
Yes.
It's in the Middle East. Mm-hmm. It's kind of by Iraq and stuff.
I don't know. I've never...
Israel.
I don't know where Syria is.
Yeah, we'll look on the globe. Mm-hmm. So, we talked about this for just a minute yesterday. Do you remember what we talked about, what's going on, and why this makes a good Presley's perspective?
I do remember, but let's just talk about it again, just in case these people don't know what it is.
Well, no, let's recap a little bit. Do you want to do it, or do you want me to do it?
You can do it. I don't have a good memory of that.
Okay, so in Syria, it was kind of like the Egypt conversation we had before, where a lot of the people...
They're doing it wrong.
A lot of people who live there don't like the ruler, and so they're trying to overthrow him. So there's kind of a civil war.
Like in Game of Thrones.
Like in Game of Thrones, that's right. So there's kind of a civil war going on, and they're fighting to see who gets to rule Syria. Mm-hmm. And just recently, they think that the guy who runs the country ordered his side to use chemical weapons to attack a bunch of people, and killed over 1,000 people, is what they're saying right now.
Bad people.
Yeah,
that died. The people that did the bomb.
Yeah, so the people that died are... So the reason that people think that chemical weapons are bad is because they're not very targeted. Mm-hmm. That, if you're dropping a bomb or a missile or a gun, certainly, or things like that, then you can shoot one person and kill a soldier if you're in war or something like that. But chemical weapons, they make
just kill everyone.
Kills everyone. It makes a big cloud of gas, and wherever the wind's blowing, it kind of floats in.
Yeah, nerve gas.
Like nerve gas, that's right. And it just killed all of these people in this town, including women and children and elderly people, and it just killed a lot of people. And there's video of these people that were dead, that they think that
there's video of dead people.
There is video of dead people. And so they, they sent a team in, the United Nations sent a team in, and they took soil samples and maybe blood samples from people who died to try and find out what it was that killed them, so they could make sure it was a gas attack. The big question right now is, if it was a gas attack, should the United States do something militarily about it? Should they launch missiles, and should they engage in combat and punish the guy that used the gas attack? And so, it kind of comes down to a question of, should the United States, because we're powerful and we're a democracy, we're free people, and we think that everyone else should be free, is it the responsibility of the United States to be sort of the policeman for the rest of the world? Or do we just say, if some other country somewhere is having a conflict and they're trying to, figure out who's going to rule, and they're fighting amongst themselves, that's not really that's their business. And it's their problem to work out, and if they want to overthrow the government, it's their responsibility to overthrow the government. Maybe we help them out a little bit, we train them, or we give them some weapons or something like that, but we don't really get directly involved and put our soldiers' lives at risk to do those kinds of things. So that's basically the question: is, should the United States be the world's police? And if so, is there a difference between, like, if the guy that runs Syria had dropped a bunch of regular bombs on this town and killed 1,000 people, versus if he dropped poisonous gas on the town and killed 1,000 people? Is there some real difference there, to where if it was a regular bomb, we don't need to get involved, but if it was gas, a chemical weapon, then suddenly that's bad enough, and we need to get involved, and we need to stop him before he does something worse?
I think that's actually correct. If it's a chemical weapon, it's not targeted. If it's a bomb, it can more target one single place.
Right.
So,
chemical weapons are worse, you think?
Yeah. I think chemical weapons are worse. We should do something about it, but use ranged weapons. I think they should use ranged weapons, not put their soldiers to risk, so they don't put their soldiers' lives to risk. They should just use ranged weapons, so their soldiers are less likely to die.
Yeah, and when you say they, you mean we?
Yes.
America.
Yes.
Right, yeah. So ranged weapons, like the Tomahawk missiles that they shoot from the ships way out in the Gulf.
Yeah.
But not...
I don't think it should be that range. So I think it should just be ranged by a plane flying by. That should be disguised as a commercial plane, so it looks
your idea.
So it looks like it, so they don't try and destroy it.
Your idea is that they fly over and it looks like just a commercial aircraft, but it really drops bombs and surprises them.
Yes.
They didn't know the bombs were coming. And they can use bunker busters then and hit bunkers and military sites and things like that. So what if the guy that runs Syria, he used regular bombs, but he didn't target specific things. He just blew up this whole town. He just dropped like 1,000 bombs on this town and killed everybody. He killed all the same people that died with the nerve gas.
That's still bad. You should go still kill him. You should still go kill him.
Do you think we should still get involved, even if it was regular bombs?
Yeah.
So
only if it's targeted, then it's okay. If it's targeted on a specific person, then it's okay. Then it's okay. If it doesn't kill 1,000 random people, that he doesn't care, that's not being bad or something. I don't think that is when we need to get involved. We need to get involved if they start to kill someone that we don't know.
Yeah. So if like there's a civil war going on and there's two different groups of people. There's the people that are in power, like in Egypt. There's the people that are ruling and the people that think that there shouldn't be ruling, and they're fighting. And if those people are fighting and killing each other, trying to decide who should be the leader of the country, then that's civil war, and that's something that they should be resolving on their own. But if they start just killing random people and killing thousands of people, then that's something we should get involved in.
I don't think the civil war of no ruling and ruling should be something we don't get involved in. I think we should get involved and try and stop the war. And just make the people go talk about make the people that don't want ruling. They can just have a calm talk with the people who do want ruling, about their reasons they don't want ruling, about the reason and the reasons they do want ruling.
Right, so
it would be much easier so people don't die.
Yeah, we should encourage the two sides to talk and try and work out their differences, and rather than like us going and killing people too. No, like we just get involved and start killing people too may not be the best path. Huh?
No, I think we should just go ahead and encourage people to stop. To stop fighting and to resolve the things while talking instead, because that will be much easier. And maybe they can come up on a decision, ruling or no ruling, through talking instead of killing all the people who don't want ruling and killing all the people who do want ruling.
But they can come to an agreement.
Yes, they can come to agreement. Like half ruling, half ruling, the rulers can rule over the people who do want ruling, and the people who don't want ruling can be rogues and they can just run around and do whatever they want. Except for killing people, that's still something bad. They can run around and do. They can
share power.
Yes,
they can do other things. Right.
Yes.
Okay.
They don't have to go under. They don't have to do weird law things. They have to follow the laws, like don't kill people, don't steal things, and anything else. I think they should only be able to follow laws that are very necessary for any country.
Yeah.
But laws that are specifically for that country, they don't have to follow. Like, all women have to stay at home for at least one day with their children. They don't have to follow that law.
Right. Molly stays home with you all the time. Yes. Yeah, but that's her choice. Yeah. It's not a law.
Yeah. If it's a law there, the people who don't want ruling don't have to follow serious specific laws. Yeah. They can only have to follow laws. Don't kill, don't steal, don't do bad things. Yeah. Don't
hurt other people.
Yeah, don't hurt other people or take other people's things. That's basically a lesson that you would teach a toddler about.
Yeah, right.
But they just don't have to follow serious specific laws. Laws that are in pretty much every country. Like Britain, I don't know why I'm choosing Britain out of everything.
It's a good example.
Britain, U.S., laws that are there, that all the countries share. They should follow those laws, but not laws specific to their own country.
Yeah.
I think that should be for every country as well.
There should be like a global set of laws that everybody has to follow. Yeah.
A global set of laws everyone has to follow, and then they can be country-specific laws that people don't have to follow if they don't want ruling in their country. If they don't want ruling in their country, they can either choose to be rogues or following the U.S. Their leaders about their laws, or they can be rogues and they can follow the global laws that everyone shares.
Right. Or they could leave and move somewhere else.
Yeah.
Move to a country whose laws they agree with. So that totally makes sense. That our first position should be to do everything that we can to get the two sides to talk to each other and try and stop killing each other. That it doesn't necessarily make sense that we're going to
go kill more people.
Yeah, we're going to stop killing by going and killing people.
Yes.
That makes sense, I suppose. I
don't think it makes sense that we want people to stop killing each other to go kill a lot of people. To go kill people.
We kill people because they killed people.
Yeah. I think they should just get them to resolve. We should just get them to resolve.
So
talk to each other, come to agreement.
What do you do if you can't? What if they don't want to talk to each other, or if they talk to each other and they still disagree and they keep fighting and killing each other? What do you do? At some point? Do you do something, or is it up to them to kind of work out in their country what they're going to do?
I think we should work out something like the people who don't want ruling can go to another country or something like that. So they can go to a different country where the ruling they think the ruling is fair in the place.
So you could offer the people who don't like the current ruler another place to go live.
Yes.
So they could choose. We want to live. We love Syria. We want to be Syrian. We want to live here. So we're going to fight to make Syria the place that we want it to be. Or it's more important for us to have the life that we want to live, and we're willing to go somewhere else and live that. They should be able to choose.
Yeah.
Because definitely there are people, like in America, right? If something really horrible was happening here and the government was really turned into like mass murder, genocide kind of thing, there are a lot of people who they love America and they don't want to leave America. They want America to be the place that they want it to be. So they would want to stay and fight to make America what it is and not just leave and go somewhere else where the rules were better. They want to try and change the rules here and make this a better place to live.
Well,
so would you give people that choice?
You would give people the choice to either leave to where they think the government is fair, or stay in Syria where the government, or stay in Syria and deal with the laws.
So if they stay in Syria, they need to deal with the laws that are in Syria and not keep fighting to try and change the laws in Syria. Or not killing them. I mean, they could try other ways to change the laws, but not by killing people and doing those things.
Yes. If you want to change the laws, my number one thing is to have a talk with the president about changing laws. If you can't talk to the president, you're a lowly person that isn't allowed there, then I think you should. And then I think the lowly people who want ruling and the lowly people who don't want ruling should just talk and come to it and instead of fighting. If they still disagree, then they still disagree. They can just fall. If the global laws happen, then they can do the global laws.
Do the global laws, right? Okay.
Hello, NASA, by the way.
NASA?
You know they're watching the thing still, right?
Oh, NSA.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Not NASA, the NSA.
It's just good that you're
NASA's different. NASA's the one that goes up into outer space.
Oh.
NSA, the National Security Agency, is the one that watches your videos and listens for keywords, like Syria, probably. So maybe they are watching this one. Oh, yeah, sorry, NASA. Sometimes, though, you're saying you talk to the president and you tell him you don't like the way he's doing things, but a lot of times when the president is a dictator, right, or like one of the Game of Thrones guys, if you go to if you go to one of those guys and say, hey, you're doing it wrong, then he just kills you.
Don't say you're doing it wrong. Try to have a reasonable talk about what you don't like and what you do like. Not say, hey, you're doing it wrong. Go have a talk about the laws you don't like and the laws you think they should keep. And maybe if more people start talking, they can come on agreement of what laws they don't follow and what laws they still do have to follow.
Right.
That's the best way to resolve things. Is if the president actually cares about the people,
right?
He'll probably delete get rid of some laws, not delete laws. Get rid of some laws if a lot of people don't like them.
Yeah. So what do you do if the president doesn't care what the people think?
Well, I think then it's our job to try and find a president that does care about the people there, and the other president either goes down in the government or doesn't go in the government at all.
So so America should help out in those cases.
Yeah, America should help out to find people who do care about their people. That if the president doesn't care.
So let's say like there's a place and there's a ruler and he's a dictator. And so he has like some military people that support him, so he rules with an iron fist like Game of Thrones and kills people that disagree with him.
Rules with the Iron Throne.
That's right. And all of these people who live in the country don't like him, and they want to overthrow him, but they don't have weapons and training, and they don't understand how to overthrow that ruler.
Then I think it's our job to train and give weapons.
So helping them overthrow him is different than us going and killing him and overthrowing him, right?
I think helping them overthrow him is the best way to do it, because going and killing him just makes it worse because it makes soldiers die. But if they help out, but if they train the people in Syria to be good at war and fighting, then we're not going out and killing, and we're not going and putting our soldiers' lives at risk because we're teaching people.
Right.
And then when we're done teaching the people, they can overthrow the president.
Yeah, because it's their country and they're the ones that should be fighting for it, right?
Yeah.
And
I don't
if it was happening here, we would fight here.
Yes.
Yeah. But we can train them and help them.
Yes, we can train and help, not put our soldiers' lives to risk.
But that's a last resort, right? First talking, it's still first.
Yes.
In trying. It's only if
attempting to resolve it, attempting to get people to come to agreement, resolve, and give them opportunities to go to a different country.
Oh, right.
I was going to say ride a military plane to another country.
That's fine. Okay.
Ride a military train.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, cool.
Plane. I said military train.
Either of those would be cool, probably. Okay, so we try and you try and get everybody to talk and come to an agreement. If they don't, then you hope that enough of the people in the country decide that they want something different, and the ruler listens to those people. And if that continues not to happen and there's still bloodshed and fighting, then as a last resort, we can help the people in the country change the leadership and take over, but we shouldn't necessarily get directly involved and go to war somewhere else. We don't want to go to war.
Don't go to war.
Yeah.
That will just make things much worse.
Right.
I think we could train the people in Syria to be good at fighting.
Right.
And then the president's military force wasn't trained by the U.S.
Yeah.
Who have won many wars.
Yeah.
So they'll be able to overthrow the president and his government.
Right. So sometimes what happens, and this is maybe the last thing, we're getting pretty long here.
Yeah.
Sometimes what happens is like the guy in Syria. He's really bad, and he used chemical weapons and killed thousands of people, right? But the people that are trying to overthrow him are pretty bad too. I'm not saying that's the case in Syria. I'm just saying sometimes it happens that the people who are trying to overthrow the bad guy are pretty bad too. They're not really good guys, so you don't necessarily want to train them and give them weapons and make them better fighters, because if they overthrow this guy, they're going to be just as bad or worse. So what do you do? I mean, how do you deal with a situation where this guy did something horrible and you really don't want to let him get away with using chemical weapons, but if you help the other guys overthrow him, that they may be just as bad or worse? Okay? What do you think you should do in that situation? That's a really hard situation.
Yes, it's a hard situation, but I think you could talk with the people that want to overthrow him and ask one question. Have you ever used a weapon? And we have to talk to them. And if it seems that they're a good one, like maybe among the people who are really bad, there's like victims and hostages and stuff. We can take the hostages and let them and have the bad people overthrow them, but the hostages will. A good hostage will be able to be the president, that because they care about the people.
Yeah.
And they're not bad.
Yeah, no,
like the bad people can be the military army that overthrows the people, and then the hostages, and then the hostages can be the high up, what did I say? Military rulers.
Yeah.
They can be the rulers that are able to talk to each other and help resolve things.
Yeah, no, I like that. Okay, so you think that even if like both sides overall are kind of bad, that there are probably good people in there somewhere,
Yes.
and it's our job to find those good people and help those good people become the rulers. Yeah, I like that. That makes sense to me. Okay.
It's been really long.
Yeah, it's like 20 minutes. Okay, I'm good with that. Do you have anything else that you'd like to say about what's going on in Syria?
Why are every single country that U.S. hasn't helped yet, or talked or been, or U.S. people, why are they all presidency doing it wrong exactly?
Okay.
If the U.S. has never been talking to them, I think it's just gonna. They just end up not having good presidency. The U.S. needs to talk to everyone.
There are plenty of people the U.S. has talked to that are still having problems too. Actually, that's an excellent. So the next Presley's Perspective, we'll talk a little bit about why there's so much turmoil in the Middle East. Very complicated topic again. But we can have a conversation about why. We'll watch some of the John Green videos on Islam and Christianity because that has a lot to do with it. But there's also sort of territory and stuff. But we'll give you a better understanding about why. And it's really kind of this one region of the world where most of this stuff is going on. Egypt and Syria and Iraq and Iran and Afghanistan. All these places are kind of in the same little area.
Wait, I thought Afghanistan was in the U.S.
No.
Right?
No. So there's lots of battles going on in this one little area. So we'll talk about that next time, and it'll make more sense. That'll make a good Presley's Perspective too. Anything else? That's a good question, though.
There's nothing else. So, bye guys.